Hi, everybody. Welcome again. And this is Coaching Real International, and I'm Maria, a passionate astrologer who would like to gain a lot of knowledge, gather a lot of information, analyze it, organize it, and give it to the people in a simple way. That's my Virgo sun. Today, we're going to talk about one very serious, interesting, and useful topic, a wise thing as well. So, we are going to talk about one word that actually everybody in their after their 30s, let's say, they're concerned about. They're thinking if there is such thing or not such thing, what is going on really in life, and this is the word karma. Karma in Sanskrit means action. So karma, usually the traditional view of karma is to be something is considered something bad, something really bad, because we say when something bad happens to us, we say, well, it's karma, and that is because of some bad actions in our past. So whatever we did, it comes back to us. So karma is like boomerang. So it means that if you do well things, good things, hi Elena, Ivanka, if you do good things, then good things will come to you. If you send away to the universe bad things, bad energy will come back to you. And karma is actually not, is neutral. It's not negative and it's not positive. So karma, we build ourselves our karma, as I said. So if we do good things, positive things, if we help people, if we don't do the 7 deadly sins, I'm going to be talking about them in some of my next lives, then it means that we build our good karma. But if we hurt others, if we lie, if we want to satisfy our ego and stepping on everybody else, then we're building a bad karma, and obviously bad things will happen to us. And karma doesn't come straightforward in few days. Karma can come in few years, in few decades if you want, or even few generations. So usually things go from grandparents to grandchildren. And also we can see things in our birth chart that are related to past karma. That's energy that we need to work on. Now I'm talking about the retrograde planets. There's so many things to be talked about. And that's why we need to be aware and build our good karma. It means do good to everybody, don't hurt anybody, and then you're gonna build yourself a good path for your soul. That's the karma. That's the path for your soul. So it's neutral. It's not positive. It's not negative. And when we talk about karma, there is one planet that is mostly related to karma in astrology and in our birth chart, and this is the Greek god of time. So time does not exist in astrology. In astrology, there's no time, there are lessons. So we come here, we learn a lesson, or we don't learn the lesson, and we go back. And we talked about how do we reincarnate in my video about the soul and the spirit. We learn the lesson, we become wiser, and we go back. So time is invented on the earth. In the universe, there is no time. So Chronos, meaning time, is the god of responsibility, of authority, and the way we socialize and the way we merge with the society. The way we integrate was the word, the way we integrate with the society. So this planet, and you might guess, it's here, Saturn, this planet is the planet of karma, and this planet wants us to evolve, to mature, to become wiser, better, and learn the hard way. So today I said I will talk about when do we become adults according to astrology, because in the society, in the collective norm, that is that we become adults at 18 or 21. But according to astrology, we become adults much later, and this is when Saturn returns to the place of the position where he was. I refer to as he, like a male, when we were born. And I will start from the beginning. So let me first talk about adulthood. What is adulthood? To be an adult, it means that you are not a child anymore. It means that you can care about yourself, you can care about other people, and you take a responsibility for your own actions. Because when we are children, we don't take the responsibility. We break a glass, we fight with our sibling. It wasn't me. We don't take responsibility. Even some adults don't take responsibilities. So that's not adulthood. Adulthood, to be an adult, means to take the responsibility for all your actions and all your deeds. Are you adults, guys? So Saturn is the strict teacher. I always imagine Saturn like an old-fashioned traditional teacher, like in his 80s or 90s, with a stick, and he wants us to learn. And you will have to learn if you don't want to learn in a good way, you're gonna learn in the bad way. So Saturn is testing us every several years, and only few or three times in life he gives us rewards if we passed his lessons. Very interesting and very true. And you're gonna see this when I start telling about the cycles of Saturn now. One very interesting thing is that if the parent, the father, let's say, or the mother, he has a position of Saturn in one sign, and he or she, they don't master this Saturn, their child will be born with Saturn in the same sign, at the same position. Yes, that are the tests, Stanislava. So every 7 years there are tests, yes. So check your Saturn, the position of your Saturn, and check the position of Saturn of your parents, and then you will see if they have dealt with Saturn or not. If they didn't, you have to do it, because then your child will be born with the same position, and then this is how we give the karma from one generation to another, and the blockages and the energy is getting like very heavy until it gets to the next and next generations. That's why we need to be aware, we need to work on it, we need to take the responsibility for ourselves, for our deeds, and for what we do. Right. So Saturn wants discipline and responsibility from us. If we don't have it, we're not gonna get any rewards. And actually, we will go one class back. We're gonna repeat this class and this lesson. So Saturn stays in one sign 2.5 years. So every 2.5 years, Saturn changes sign. For example, last year, 2020, hi. Last year, 2020, Saturn was in Capricorn. This year, Saturn entered Aquarius. So it's always different. Saturn works on different things and different energy in different signs. For example, Saturn in Capricorn is very strong. It's Capricorn is Saturn's sign. So Saturn feels very good and very strong there. And you know what happened in the last few years with the world. Saturn actually rules Capricorn and Aquarius, just because in the old times, when the three new planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, were not discovered, astrologers had to assign planets to every sign, to every zodiac. So that's why Saturn has two. But actually, the modern ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. And Saturn is the traditional one. So yes, Saturn stays in one sign for 2.5 years. So every 2.5 years, Saturn changes signs. And to make one full circle through all the 12 signs, through all the zodiac, it takes 29 years. And this is exactly the time when we become adults according to astrology. Why? So it takes a long time. Saturn gives us 29 years to become responsible. So if you do not come responsible in 29 years, at 59, there is another cycle, another finished cycle, that's the second cycle. We need to become wise. This is the age when we become wise, we gain wisdom. And if we are really lucky to live until 89, that's when the third cycle, the Saturn returns for the third time, and this is really the time when now we gain the responsibility, we gain the wisdom, and we can enjoy life. Unfortunately, many people don't live that long. So as I said, Saturn has three main cycles. So I will talk about the first two. How do we get adults, and how do we get into the wise phase of Saturn? And every cycle, imagine like pizza, a circle, right? It's pizza, and divide the pizza into 4 squares. So these 4 squares, 90 degrees each. Saturn makes tests for our personality every square. It means every 7 years. And now I'm going to start talking about how do we really gain this adulthood, and how do we become adults, and what tests do we need to pass really since our birth. So the first time when Saturn tests us is at age of 7. So what happens when kids are 7? Think about this. At 7, kids start school. At 7, kids realize that it's not only my parents, mommy and daddy, there are other people out there in the world. So the mother and father are not the only authorities. They realize that there are other people, other authorities in life. This is how they start integrating in the society. And at this age, at 7, children get their first responsibilities. They need to study, they need to write, they need to do homework, they need to get up early. And this is a time, this square, the first phase, the first test is a time of fear, of a lot of challenges. This is the time when children start really crying. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to be away of their parents because this is their comfort zone. So they need to get out of their comfort zone in order to grow, in order to integrate in the society, really. So 7 is very important age for your children. If your children are 7 or they're becoming 7 soon, you need to understand them. You need to understand that they're in crisis, some kind of crisis, and you need to really calm them down and explain them so that these things go easily. So actually, we cannot avoid this responsibility. We have to take it. We have to start school, no matter how painful it is, even for the parents. I know also parents who cried at the same time and children cried at the same time, but this is what really we have to do. This is a hard test of Saturn, but it's for our good, because obviously after a few years we realize that this was the best thing that happened to us. So this is the first square of the pizza. Then the second square, and then we actually come to opposition. So what happens at 14? At 14, this is the next step into entering into society, and this is when the opposition with the parents start. So parents are the authorities, and kids are opposite. This is like a government's opposition. They're against against their parents, because they want to gain, they want to have to be authorities themselves, but they cannot because they're still children and not mature enough. So actually at age of 12, another very important thing happens. At age of 12, we have Jupiter return. Jupiter returns to the place where it was when we were born. So when Jupiter makes a full circle, and Jupiter is fate, Jupiter is to believe in yourself. So at 12, children start believing in themselves. They realize that they can do things. They're not babies. And at 14, already the opposition starts even earlier. I would say from 12, but at 14 is actually when the real teenage year starts. And that's why we have this teenager crisis when the children are in opposition to their parents. So again, you need to understand your children. You need to know that this is the phase that they will have to go. At 7, at the square, at the first square of the pizza, they were scared. They were too afraid to let you go, to stand alone. Now they realize at the opposition that they can actually stand alone, but even though they believe in themselves, which is good, they're not able to be on their own. So this is the opposition. And then the third piece of the pizza, the third square, is at 21. So 21 in some countries is considered to be age of adulthood, because at that age, the souls, I wouldn't call them children now, the young people are considered to be grown-ups enough so they can take responsibility of themselves and of other people. So at 21, they are ready to separate from their parents, to live alone, to look after themselves alone, even to look after somebody else, like to get married, to have children. This is the way it should be. Really, in theory, in practice, it's a different story. So at 21, we get rid of all the authorities. And that's again another square and another time when we need to be authority ourselves, but we are not sure in ourselves. We are hesitant. So this is again a time of conflict, a time of blockages and crisis, really. But that's how we mature. That's how we need to get out of our comfort zone, because until 21, let's say, we live with our parents, they pay the bills. If we earn some money, this money are only for us, and then we need to pay the bills ourselves. We need to look after ourselves, and on top of that, if we have a husband or wife or children, then it becomes even more difficult. But leave your kids at 21 now, because they should learn, and if they learn the hard way, it's better. They will be grateful for that after a while. So this was the third square of the pizza, and now we come to the whole pizza, the whole circle, the whole cycle. So the actual return is at 29 years, and this could vary from person to person. So it's basically exactly the degree and the sign when Saturn returns to the place of your birth. For example, if you were born with Saturn in Libra at 27 degrees, the next time Saturn returns to Libra at 27, even the minutes exact, this is your Saturn return. So Saturn return, the consequences, I would say, of Saturn return last for several months. So this happens maybe in a few days, the exact conjunction to your natal Saturn. But actually, the consequences can be seen in 3-6 months up to a year around the day of the Saturn return. So what happens at 29? Well, we need to pick the fruit from the seed that what that we from the seeds that we took from our parents, really. So now, what fruit we are going to pick, what harvest will we have, depends on us, and it mainly depends what did we do from age 21 until 29. So if you worked hard, if you made effort, if you studied, you finished, or you traveled. So you were responsible, you were disciplined. These are the words. Then at 29, the time comes when you get married, or you get your career, you get promoted at your job, or you have your children, and basically you're happy with yourself. But that happens to very few people. Stanislava is asking how we can know about the degrees. So if you want to know in which degree is your Saturn, you need to cast a birth chart of your birth. So you need to know the date of your birth, date and time. Time is very important. But for Saturn, you don't really know the exact time. So if you want to know the degree of Saturn, you don't have to really know the time. Is really individual. Yes, you can contact me through my in private message through my page Astro Maria, and we can I do initial free consultation where you explain me what you need, and then I tell you what I can do for you, and then we arrange the real consultation, and I do the consultations through Zoom, and I record them on Zoom, and then I send you a link. You download the videos, the audio, so you can listen to it several times, because at the consultations, a lot of things are going on. So I tell so much information about the birth chart, the personality, that people are so how to say shocked and surprised. And by the time they digest the information, the first information, I already told another 5 pieces of information. So that's why I always suggest my clients to listen to several times to the recording, in like every month, every few months, so they can really understand things, because they cannot, it's a lot to take at once. So yes, I do private consultations, and as I said, they are bespoke depending on your needs. So it could be like birth chart reading, or if you have specific questions like career or relationship, or maybe what's going on in life now, if you feel lost in your life, you don't know which way to take, you're at the crossroads, you're confused, we can also do a consultation on that one, and everything really that concerns you. Thank you, Stanislava. And at 29, yes, if we are happy with ourselves, that's great, we get rewarded, but most of the people actually were not responsible until 29, because the young age is the time of enjoy life and do everything, because this is how they teach us: carpe diem, do whatever, please yourself, don't even think about tomorrow, you're too young anyways. So at 29, if you were not I'll explain, Stanislava. At 29, if sorry, I lost myself now in this Saturn. 29, yes, many people feared Saturn return. This is very very important event in everybody's life, really. And everybody fears Saturn return, because we never know what Saturn might bring us on the return. But if we're, as I mentioned, if we were responsible, then good things will happen to us. But if we were not really, if we were lazy, if we were still relying on our parents, so keyword is to take the responsibility. So if you didn't have responsibility in those 7 years, especially until from 21 until 29, then probably your parents will say, well, we are kicking you out now. Or if you had a girlfriend, she will say, well, I work, you don't work, so sorry, I'm leaving you. And then you start crying. But this is, everything happens for a reason, and this is because Saturn would like to make us responsible and wiser and adult. So that's why the experience with Saturn return is very different to anybody. We cannot say it's good or bad or this or that. There are no rules. Saturn does bespoke rewards and what's the other word? Returns, like returning in the previous class. So it's very individual, really. Here, actually, I would mention that I was born with Saturn and Pluto in conjunction and my ascendant. So even before knowing astrology, I noticed that whatever I do in life, I have to really work hard. Well, if things would happen like this to other people out of luck, for me it wasn't like that. So I had to really work to get something. Like I had to sweat, literally, to really get something, and things were delayed in my life. So my dreams are fulfilling, but slowly. Then at the beginning, I was really kind of sad about that, but then I realized that this is actually better, because at the time of the young age, the 20s, when everybody kind of had luck, I didn't, or at least this is what I thought in my when I was younger. But now, when I come into my late 30s, I'm happy with what I am now. And people who I thought they were happy in their 20s, they're actually not. Because with Saturn, as I mentioned, things come later in life. They're delayed, but they're more, you gain quality rather than quantity. Jupiter would give you quantity, Saturn would give you quality. So if you wait for your prince for 36 years, that's for a reason, because then Saturn will give you really the best man, for example. Saturn in Scorpio. So Saturn was in Scorpio every 30 years, really. Okay, I have Saturn in Scorpio as well. So Saturn gives blockages and fears in the sign that it is located in the house. So it means some blockages and fears connected to Scorpio. So that would give some fears of maybe change, transition, transformation, death, fear of connecting to other people. Maybe your comfort zone is not to share with other people, because Scorpio is sharing as well. So Saturn always gives these blockages, but the crucial thing is that we need to deal with these things, because this is what our karma would like from us in order to evolve. So wherever your Saturn is, this is your most difficult field in your life, but you can master it, and you can become really, really masters about this topic. With time, obviously. It's chronos, it's time. It won't happen in a day, in a year. It will take a long time. So if we gain the adulthood at 29, then the cycle, then we enter into the adulthood. So 29, 30 years, we enter the adulthood. And actually, I noticed that even before knowing astrology, from my personal life, I realized that after 30, somehow my life became easier. And then I was telling everybody that life changes at 30, and something very important happens at 30, and we really start seeing the world in a different way at 30. Nobody would believe me, but then when I read about Saturn return, it was like, oh my God, I could feel it, because Saturn is in very strong position in my birth chart. And how to know if you have Saturn in strong position? Well, Saturn in Capricorn is in strong position. Saturn in Aquarius can also be in strong position. Saturn in Libra is strong position, and Saturn is very influential in your life if you have it at your angles. And we spoke yesterday and the other day about ascendant, descendant, imum celi, the nadir, and midheaven, medium celi. So if it is close to your one of these angles, it means that your Saturn is strong. So you will feel the energy of Saturn more because it's at the angle. So if it's at your ascendant, it means that you will feel it on your personality, because the ascendant is your personality. And there is a way to kind of change the energy about this, but bear with me. We're going to talk about this on Monday, I think. So I will tell you several tricks how to change the energy of your birth chart. Okay, so the degree, it doesn't matter for now. There is a theory about degrees, that every degree is different, but that's like really going very, very deep into astrology. So for now, we're gonna just take the sign of Saturn, not the degree. And then after 30, as we enter into the adulthood, we have another cycle where we need to work on this adulthood. We need to master the adulthood so that when we get to 60, we need to go into the wise age. So again, you're welcome, Stacy. So again, this next cycle, it's like a circle and is divided again into 4 squares, 4 pieces of the pizza. So we're gonna talk about the first now, the first square of Saturn. And now we talk about the second cycle into our adulthood. And the first square happens at age of 36. So at age of 36, we come again to a time when we're lost. We are in crisis. We don't know which way to take. So this resembles the energy when we are 7, but now we are adults. Now we have the authority in ourselves, because when we are 7, our parents are authority, and now we are authority. We don't have nobody else to blame. It's ourselves. So we are in time of crisis or blockages. We don't know where, how, and I'm on the right way or not. This summer I will become 36. That's great. Another very important thing happens in 36, and I spoke about this yesterday. The lunar nodes. The north node returns to the place where it was when you were born. So in the same year, more or less, what happens? You have the blockages from Saturn, the crisis, and when the lunar nodes return, we have the cycle of the lunar nodes, the north node, you start questioning life. Why am I here? Is this the only life? And I spoke about the mission and the lunar nodes, the north node and south node, or Rahu and Ketu yesterday. So if you haven't seen that video, watch it about the lunar nodes. So at this same age, 36, see, we have 2 very important things. So it's the square with Saturn, and it's the questioning of life. And then we slowly start to change. So it's very it's very funny when somebody at 22 says, "Oh, I'm adult now. I know what to do. I know what I want in my life." And I just smile and I say, oh yeah, you do." Because even at 36, you're not sure what is it all about, but you start really understand life after this year, after 36. So Stanislava, get ready for the best part of your life. And we talk now here. You have all heard about the midlife crisis, right? So this starts at the age of 36, and it lasts until 44 or even 50. So this is the time when our really conscious life is, and we really understand life, and life becomes better and better. Yes, especially if you're disciplined, if you're responsible, and if you follow your Saturn. If you use the resources of your moon, you satisfy your soul. I talk about the soul. Go back to my video to check it about the moon, the soul. And if you deal with Saturn, you've done a lot in your life. Yes. So 36, the first square. The second square, which is opposition of Saturn from the second cycle, happens at 44. And now this is opposition like in the teenagers at 14. But what's the difference? When we're 14, we oppose our parents because you tell me what to do, I'm opposing you. At 44, authority is me. Who am I opposing to? Myself. Who am I blaming? Myself. Because I'm authority. I'm telling myself what to do, and now I am opposing myself. So the 44 year also can be very transformational. That's the word, because we understand many things. And here again, if you work hard, if you were responsible in your life at 44, many people gain like really nice rewards from Saturn. They get good career. They get the first billion in their life. Some people they might even marry for the first time at this time if they were really focused on the Capricornian energy, which is career and hard work. So it depends on us, really. And then we come to we have again time to learn and improve ourselves. And when we come at 59, Saturn again has another test for us. If we pass it, we go into the wisdom, the wise stage. And this is the time really after 60s, after 60, let's say, when people retire, they start enjoying life. They start thinking about, well, when I was younger, I didn't have money to travel. I'm going to travel now. I didn't have money to study. I will study now. And they don't study just because they would like to make career when they're 100. They study to satisfy their soul, to make themselves happy. Or they just, with time, people just feel they listen to their soul more and they know what they want because they know themselves more. So they decide to fulfill their dreams from the childhood if they hadn't, and they decide to study. So I've seen a 64-year-old studying master degree. And everybody thought, what? Why? But I fully understand her. And she said, Maria, when I was younger, I didn't have time, I didn't have money. I had to be responsible and look after somebody else. Now it's my time. And I agree. We need to do anything to grow our souls, because with studying, when we study, this is another bad thing from our 3D society. You don't study to show your diploma to the other people and to put it on Facebook and say, I have diploma. You study for yourself. You study to grow. Because when we learn university or when we study, it's never too late for studies. Never. I don't believe in the theory that, I'm too old now, my brain is not quick enough to study. I don't believe this. It's just I want or I don't want. I take the responsibility or I don't take. There are no such things that I can't. I can if I want. If I don't want, I make excuses. This is what I realized in my life. So people start studying and they study for themselves. They study because how do we raise our consciousness? One of the ways that we raise our consciousness, we gain knowledge, we gain wisdom. And now we talk about Sagittarian energy. It's either through studying or through traveling. This is how we conquer the world. This is how we gain knowledge and we gain wisdom. Wisdom, knowledge, wisdom, that's one and same thing. And this is after age of 60. So I'm really impatient to see what this age will bring me, because the 36 age of 36 is exactly on my solar return on my birthday. I got addicted to astrology, like literally. I woke up and I say, I want to do this. That's my future, really. So 36 is very important. And actually, I started learning astrology because I wanted to help myself. Because I was, see, at 36, I was lost. I didn't know which way to take. I didn't know where to live, what to do, like as a profession. I have several courses and diplomas, kind of jack of all trades, but still, I felt that I missed something in my life. And what I missed was wisdom, like really like deep wisdom, philosophy. This is what I liked all my life. So I said I'm gonna read some astrology to read my birth chart. So when I started reading my birth chart, I found a lot of potential there that it's not that I didn't know it, but I was suspicious. I didn't believe myself. And then I started doing reading for my friends, and they say, "You can do this. Yes, you can do this." And time, like with time, with Chronos, it's slow, but I'm happy with my progress, really. And being on the scene, this is my Mars in Venus in Leo in the 10th house, and the Sun in the 10th house. It's being in the public and being on the scene, really, and I love it. Thank you guys for watching. um, Have you been through your first Saturn return, anybody of you, or the squares or oppositions? Share some comment. Share some yes, some comments in the comments below. Yes. Right. Okay. So this is about the natal Saturn. And what happens when we have Saturn as transit? So when Saturn transits our natal birth chart, and how do we do this? we have our birth chart. You remember this? We have our birth chart. And then on top of the birth chart, we put the current positions of the planets. And then we calculate the angles. And then we see, let's say we talk about Saturn now, through which house Saturn is transiting now, is passing. This is transit, to pass at current time. And then wherever Saturn passes in this house, it means that we need to be more disciplined and responsible in this house. So if Saturn goes through our first house, we need to be responsible and disciplined about ourselves, our maybe body, how we eat, how we live our life. When Saturn is transiting the second house, this is the house of money. So everybody fears really when Saturn transits the second house, because Saturn gives like limitations and blockages. But if you work hard, Saturn can actually reward you. And in these 2-3 years, you can save money to buy whatever you like. So there are no impossible things. Saturn just wants us to be responsible. That's all. We shouldn't fear Saturn. Okay. And so we become adults. We said, according to astrology, we become adult at 29-30. But then in the midlife crisis is very important. And that's, we said, from 36, when the lunar nodes return. And then there are also other very important transits of the trans-Saturnian planets. And I will speak about a few of them. Just to make you aware that astrology has a solution and explanation for everything in life. That's why I love it. It gives me an answer to all my questions. So when we talk about Uranus, so Uranus is the planet of rebellion energy, of the future, of the new thing, of the pro-modern oriented. So Saturn and Uranus is like they're opposites, because Saturn is tradition and Uranus is the modern world. Uranus is the rebellion. I don't want to be like you. You're old fashioned. I want something new. Give me something new. So a very important transit to Uranus is at age of 42, when Uranus makes opposite 42. Yes, that's opposition. When Uranus makes opposition to the natal Uranus, because Uranus takes 84 years to make a whole cycle return. So at 42, I made a mistake here. Uranus makes opposition with this opposition with the natal Uranus. And what happens there? So this is a time when the soul awakens. And if you didn't want to make any changes until these years, until 42, and you were living in a, like, how to say, environment with rotten energy, you were not happy, but you were staying there just for the sake of other people, you were doing the same old job, boring job with years, just because you were scared to do changes in your life. So when this opposition happens, one day you wake up and you say, that's enough, I'm gonna divorce now, I don't care, or I'm quitting my job, that's enough. Because Uranus is the planet that really awakens us. And it's like you're sleeping and somebody's pouring a bucket of cold water on your head. This is Uranus. So when you wake up, you realize, oh my God, I need to do something. And then how we make the changes. So that's why also at these years, like around 42, lots of people can change career, or they, if they decided beforehand that they don't want to get married or have children, now they want to do this. Or if they are in a marriage that they're not happy, now they decide to divorce. So quick changes we have with Uranus. So imagine we mature at 30, then we have the nodal returns, we have the blockages, we are lost at the crossroads, then we have Uranus that shakens us. Then 42. At 42, another very important transit happens, and that's the square with Neptune. So Neptune needs 164 years to make one circle. So we have, as people, we live, most of us would live only the square. So at 42 also, at the same time, Neptune makes square with the natal Neptune. So what happens? So Neptune is our dream of the ideal world. Neptune is the one that when we are at 10, we say, one day when I grow up, I will live in a palace and my prince will come on a horse. Neptune is this ideal love. So what happens at this age, around 42? You start thinking about your dreams, you look back and you say, did I fulfill my dreams? What happened from my desires and my fantasies? Nothing of this happened. I don't have a prince, I live in a place where I don't want to be, I'm married to the person I don't want to be. And well, the good version would be that you're happy with, you say, yes, I'm with my prince, I'm with this, I'm with this. But this happens to very few people. So most of the people, they by that age, they had not fulfilled their dreams, their childhood dreams, let's say. So what happens? They get depressed. And also that's why, especially for men, this age is critical. For women as well, but men are more, how to say, emotionally fragile. And that's another problem, another topic that I might talk in another life. But yes, so they get disappointed and they turn to Neptunian substances. And what's that? They want to escape the reality with alcohol, with drugs, with antidepressants, and that they think that in that way they will go to their dreamland. But no, this can become addiction, and this can become very bad. So when you are familiar with astrology and when you come to this age, you know that this time there is a tendency that I might have depression. So with Neptune, for example, what you need to do, you need to start doing maybe meditation, yoga. So you need to do some spiritual things. So you can use this energy, this square of Neptune, just to raise your vibration rather than get depressed. If you're aware about this, you can use it in a constructive way rather than destructive way. With Uranus, for example, you need to make changes. Like it or not, you need to make changes. You know that you have the opposition. You know that if you don't wake up yourself, somebody else will wake you up with a bucket of cold water with ice. So you decide to make changes, and then you are more aware and it goes easier. That's why I love astrology, right? Another thing, wow, more that happens is the square with Pluto. And because Pluto have a irregular ecliptic, this can happen for different people in at different age. So the square with Pluto happens between 36 and 45, depending. And again, with Pluto would like from us to transform, to change, deep transformation. So depending on the natal position of your Pluto. So Pluto can be stay dormant for 36 years. Pluto can be there, do nothing in your life. But when he's activated by the transit Pluto, maybe another planet, then this is the time where it digs deep into your subconscious. So then you can start being obsessed, or you don't know what to do with yourself. So this is great time to do psychoanalysis, psychotherapy, and do all these things with the subconscious thing, psychological things. So you can see how useful astrology can be. It gives you answers to many questions, to many problems. Why is this happening to me? Why I have problems with my love life, like so deep problems? Because, for example, because Saturn is squaring your natal Venus, and Saturn is the karma, right? Saturn cleans the garbage from your life. So if you're with a garbage person, Saturn will clean it, like it or not, because Saturn knows what's better for you. Because we are like little children, we don't really know what's better for us. It's like a small child is taking some scissors, and the parent goes and says, "No, you're going to hurt yourself. Give me the scissors." And takes the scissors from the child, and the child starts crying. "No, but I want them, but I want them." Same thing with us. Saturn or any other planet, Uranus could also take something from us because it knows, the universe knows what's better for us. Then we start crying, "Oh my God, but I love him." Well, yes, but after several years, you will be grateful to this Saturn that actually he cleaned the garbage from your door or your house. So that's how astrology is useful, and I really love it. So guys, if you have problems in your life, if you're lost, contact me for a personal consultation. We can have a look at your chart. You can ask questions. We can explain. You will get answers for sure what's going on in your life. And because everything happens for a reason, and we're here to learn. We're here to improve ourselves. And one more thing not to forget, the asteroid Chiron returns at 50. So see how many years do we need 50 is like more than half age. It's 2/3 of our lifespan. So the universe gives us a lot of time to master ourselves, to master our souls. What do? We just complain. And we say, oh no, it's government's fault, it's my parents' fault, it's my friend's fault. Excuse me, it's nobody's fault. It's your fault, it's my fault. We are authorities of ourselves. So when Chiron returns at year 50, this is again when Chiron comes to the same position where it was when we were born. Chiron deals with traumas from childhood, something that really hurt ourselves from childhood, and we are usually not aware of this trauma, and it can really makes us suffer, and it can block us to do things in life. I will talk about Chiron in a whole video about the traumas. So at 50, Chiron returns and he says, okay, have you dealt with me? Like, what happened with your traumas? Have you healed them? Because these traumas from the childhood, and this is like surprising, amazing, and sad at the same time, the traumas from the childhood can stop us to live our life in a good way. For example, I'll tell you a quick example. If your parents fought a lot when you were a child, and subconsciously the model of our parents and our family we have in our mind, we would like to project in our lives. So anytime they ask you to come on, get married and have family, you subconsciously in your mind, you make pain argument equal to marriage and love. And you say, no way, I'm not going to do that. So this is how it can be destructive, these traumas and the subconscious. So that's why we need to know ourselves. We need to be aware of ourselves. That's why we need to see our birth chart. And unless we have very much developed intuition, then the answer of everything is there, guys, in astrology, in my favorite astrology. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I really enjoyed that. I hope you did as well. Tomorrow I will see you here at the same time, and we're going to talk about our potentials, how to see our potentials in the birth chart and how to use them. So have a good evening, have a good day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.